Gotta love that groovy music. And every time it comes on, it's time for Crick Buzz Live in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle. Gaurav Kapoor here with Pommy Mbangwa and Sean Pollock joining me from different parts of the globe. But right now, the action is all, of course, in Abu Dhabi, where Rajasthan won the toss and put Delhi into bat. And Delhi, I don't know if they're going to be too happy with this, or maybe they will be because of the conditions. They've ended up at 154 for the loss of 6 wickets. Shreyas Iyer, the top scorer with 43, and Shimron Hetmeyer giving them a healthy boost when it came to strike rate, striking at 175 and getting 28 of 16 deliveries there. 2 wickets apiece for Mustafizur and Chetan Sakaria, and the 1 wicket there for Tewatia. Also 155 to win for Rajasthan to get the 2 points and jump on to possibly number 3 on the points table if they do that. But that's a big if. It is 155 that they need to get. Enough, you think, Pommy?
Oh, no, I don't actually. I don't think it should be enough. They seem to get stuck somewhere along the line. The partnership that you thought would do it for them, Rishabh Pant and Shreyas Iyer, when they're kind of going together, it seemed like they might take control of the game. It was good on the part of Rajasthan that they were able to respond at that time. And as I look at how things have gone, actually, it perhaps reinforces the importance of Shikhar at the top, in that if he gets going, then it kind of seems to click everybody else into gear. And the fact that he didn't get going up at the front meant it was kind of unfamiliar to everyone. How do we get ourselves started? And it maybe went a little too slow at the beginning and then just didn't kick off, and then lost wickets at crucial times. And 154 on there, I don't think so. I don't think it's enough runs.
Yes, they were struggling. Good point. Shikhar didn't get too many, went early to Karthik Yagi, chipped one on to his stumps, and unfamiliar territory, I guess, for Delhi, because he's got 400 plus runs now this season. It's the 6th season that he's got 400 plus runs, only the 3rd batsman to do that. All left-handers, though. David Warner, Suresh Raina, Shikhar Dhawan. Is there something there? Is there something in the pitch is the question I'd like to ask Sean Pollock.
Yeah, I think it's a slow-natured surface. I think when you make your assessment about whether it's enough or not, you also got to look at the Delhi bowling lineup. I just think that there's too much pace in that Delhi bowling lineup. I thought these guys bowled really well, and Sakaria, I think it was over 15 and 16 where they didn't take pace off it, and those were the ones when Hetmeyer was just able to sort of unleash. There was a couple of full tosses as well, which means you weren't using the slow surface at all. But I just think the nature of the Delhi bowling lineup, even if Rabado and Nortje cut across it, bowl slow deliveries, it's still coming at a decent pace compared to the Fizz and Sakaria. So, yeah, I think the nature of their bowling attack, I think will actually suit Rajasthan, unless they pick up some early wickets and put them under pressure. They do have the 2 spinning options, but I would think 154 would be subpar. I think 169 was about right.
Hey, of course it was, because that was the guess that Sean Pollock had on the books. 170 plus for me, 180 plus for me. Geez, nowhere close, right? Nowhere close, was it? But of course, Sean, in defense, for me, and I would just like to say that we expected Shikhar Dhawan to get runs. We just chipped one on. It was bad luck. Otherwise, it was going to get
It's a fair expectation, that.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he's doing it. He's doing it consistently. Another guy who does it consistently, and you two fast bowlers will be very happy to see that, just the way the Fizz manages to get that little curve in dipping Yorker. Pommy, that must warm the cockles of your heart.
It does, and particularly for the Fizz, because there was a time where he went too much and maybe not enough, too much to the slower balls, whether it's cutters or out the back and everything, and not so much to that Yorker that he's able to bowl. And I think he's getting a much better balance these days and back with it in terms of trying to ensure that guys can't actually work out which he's going to do. When he bowls it, the Yorker, and bowls it well, and it's more often than not, it's fantastic.
Yeah, is that your truest kind of signing off? Is that your certification stamp, Polly? Is just how nicely the Yorker shapes?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about when I was watching it back in the day when he first came onto the scene. He had this ability to shape the ball back into the right-handers, and that's what made him even more effective. Because up front, you get a little bit of tail in, and then your slow delivery goes away, and it makes it really difficult. But in many ways, as Pommy said, he had lost the art of being able to get the York in. He relied totally on that slow delivery, and it's a brilliant delivery, particularly when you knew men at the crease. But yeah, I think if he continues to develop those skills a little bit more, I can remember in a test match in particular against South Africa once, he got a couple of ones to swing. So I'd be interested to actually chat with him and find out if he's just gone away from that and he's not really looking to do it much anymore. But he's X factor. He really, particularly on surfaces that are holding, he's a difficult man to pick and also to deal with.
And Delhi, also, Pommy, Delhi will look at this batting effort and they say, all right, listen, if we want to be a champion team, then we have to be able to adapt our batting and our bowling to different conditions, different surfaces. And today they will probably just give themselves, barely pass mark for this batting effort for not really adapting to what the surface requires.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that the definition of roles is such that there is a great expectation from Shikhar and Prithvi up at the top. And if nothing happens up at the top, it then becomes a scenario of adjustment pretty much all the way through. And when to click into gear, just how much of a rebuild is good and isn't, is quite difficult to gauge. And even with guys who are experienced on a surface there where your get out isn't just pop one out the ground because the ground's quite big. So you think you're doing good enough for rebuilding. And when you look up, your run rate is 7 and over, 6.5 and over. That's all it is. Whereas on other grounds, that you can add a run to that because you hit the ball out the ground and you can hit it regularly out the ground, even though you're being quite circumspect. So yeah, it's a tough one. I don't think they'll give themselves a pass mark. Perhaps they'll give themselves 49.5 or something like that. But in terms of when to go, when not to, you'd rather be 8-9 down, 154, having had the guys go earlier and try and press a bit harder. And admittedly, they did try to press and lost the wickets, which can happen.
Interesting thing, though, is that looks like in all likelihood it's going to be Liam Livingstone who's going to open the batting since Evan Lewis has got a niggle and is not playing this game. So which means that he perhaps comes up the order and opens with Yashasvi Jaiswal. Now, Polly, the interesting thing is, does Liam Livingstone still play in that gear? Because two things. One, of course, they've seen how, the ball was not really, the pitch was doing something for the bowlers, and it's not the same pace that Liam Livingstone is used to. But Sanju Samson also at the toss said that the wicket will perhaps get easier to bat as it goes along. We don't know. We'll kind of see that. But the question is that does Livingstone still play that gear? Because we need less than 8 and over. Team gives him license saying just go do what you do.
Yeah, 100%. No, he mustn't change his game plan. I don't think he's the kind of guy who's going to knock it around and pick up singles. And particularly if he plays his way and comes off, it sort of makes it easier for the guys going forward because you'll get well ahead of the rate that's required, and then you can just play accordingly. The key for me is you've got 2 quality spinners for Delhi. How are they going to use them? Are they going to use them if he comes up front? Do you get Axar Patel in early? And
probably
that's
the power play, right?
Yeah. I think that might be their plan. And then also there's quite a few left-handers. So Ashwin comes into his own a little bit. In the last game, there was a lot of right-handers. So he didn't really look as effective. He bowled a lot of his other deliveries. So I think those 2 will go well. It'd be interesting to see how they use them. The key is the faster bowlers. And Livingstone would want that. He would want the battle of Nortje and Rabada. I think that would suit him better if he does come up front.
Yeah, I think that. How many do you predict, Pommy, in the power play? Slower bowlers bowling for Delhi. 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6.
Yeah, I'd go.
Six
I'd
out
go
of 6.
3 out of 6. I'd go 3 out of 6 in terms of slower, but it kind of is dependent on if they start slower and the first one gets pumped out the ground, they might not head that way. It might end up being just 1 or maybe 2. But also because they've gone with that, our strength is fast bowling, and bowl these guys. I expect that they wouldn't go through that power play and not bowl the other half being the faster guys.
I'll tell you this much, empirical evidence, we love it. Delhi has only defended this lower score twice in a full 20-over game, both times against this team. So if they can do it, they'll back themselves to do it against this team. One was in Bloemfontein. Am I saying it right? I said Polly, am I saying it right?
Flower Fountain. So once in Flower Fountain in 2009, and once in Delhi, since we are doing it that way, in New Delhi in 2012. So twice that they've done it. But Rajasthan does have, you'd back this Rajasthan batting to get that. If you just pull that up for you, you're looking at Liam Livingston and Jaiswal, then you're looking at Sanju Samson, you've got David Miller that's coming to the game today, Lomror, who really showed some power hitting in the previous game. And then you have Rian Parag and Rahul Tewatia. And Shamsi, Pommy, not Shamsi, right? If it goes down till there, they're in trouble anyway. If you're relying on him, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you just are. But I've literally never seen, you guys have obviously seen him bat. He's your neck of the woods. Can he though? Because the reason I'm asking is because otherwise Rajasthan's batting just kind of falls off a cliff then, post number 7.
I don't think you need more than 7. If you need more than 7, then you're struggling generally. Like if you're chasing 154 and you end up 6 down, yes, and kind of needing number 8 to be the one who does it, then good luck. Hopefully you can just rotate strike and give whoever is in, the strike, and they can sort it out. But yeah, beyond number 7, which is a decent top 7, I think they won't be kind of holding their breath too much.
There is a captain wearing a yellow jersey who disagrees staunchly with you and wants to bat right up to number 11.
Ideally. He's been doing it. You can do that and still have the guys be good enough bowlers, then that's fine. Look at West Indies as well when they play and they set up their team. You bat all the way to number 9 and 10, and and as long as the guys are your bowlers and they can sort stuff out when it's their primary job, which is bowl the ball and get you wickets.
Yeah, well, the top 7 will have to do it, and it's not a very daunting total. It's 155 that Rajasthan needs to get, and we, of course, got our guessing game woefully wrong in the first half, so we're going to limit the game now. We're going to say power play score prediction. Just to remind you, Delhi got 36. Just to throw that in there. Just throw that in there.
Okay, 49
Sean's
for
going
me.
first. Polikaka with 49. Tommy, were you going with 49 as well? Is that why?
I was going with 48. I wrote it down. I'm going to go further down, though. I'm going to say 44.
44, 48, 52.
Gaurav's going 187.
I'm sticking with 187. You know what they say about a broken clock being correct twice a day, right? Just keep sticking to 187. I'll get it right one day.
I think this clock is in the attic and it's not correct at all. It doesn't have any hands.
All right, we're out of here now. We're out of time. And we're going to see you at the end of the 10th over with Crick Buzz Combox. Remember, Rajasthan needs 155 to leapfrog a lot of people on this points table. You have, you have 5 other teams that are really rooting for Delhi to defend this because they want Delhi to run away and not Rajasthan to leapfrog over them. It'll be interesting. And of course, when we come back, we're going to speak about the second game that's happening today as well, which is with Hyderabad and Punjab. But right now, it's thank you to Sean and Pommy both. I'm Gaurav Kapoor. You were watching Crick Buzz Live in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle.